So I've been trying to think of my next project for a little while, and then I sort of sat here and I thought, I drink quite a lot of beer, and I've seen on some other pages that they made some cool little beer holders to keep your beer cool. So I thought, let's make an Alton Towers inspired one. So that's what we're going to do. So first off, we want to get the circumference of this. Circumference? I think that's what it's called, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been at school. So the easiest way to do that is to get something flexible, a bit of string or something that basically you can wrap round it. So if we just sort of wrap that round, and then that, so that basically is how long it is around, if that makes sense. And then all you do is you put it on your material, move that out of the way, and then that will give you the length that you want. So that's where it's going to be. And literally I'll just cut that out, bish bash bosh. I'm not even too sure how high we want to go. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, we'll just make it up. It's fine. That's the joy with this. So let's get it cut out. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. The edges are fairly clean. There's a little bit of a snag on that corner, but apart from that, we're good. We're golden. If it doesn't fit round the can... Ah, no. I'm not doing it nowhere near long enough. Look at that. Needs to be considerably longer. About that much longer. Okay, no problem. We'll just cut another bit. There we go. So once you've got the long bit cut out, we need to cut out a piece for the bottom. So how we're going to do that is basically just put that on there, draw around it, cut it out. So now we've got this bit that we're going to curve around, and also the bottom. I now need to get this to sort of hold itself, to glue them two bits together like that. How I'm going to do that, I don't really know. I might have to try and come up with a sort of jig to hold it there and then something on top. I'll have a play around and see what we come up with. So to stick this with, I'm going to be using Evo Stick Impact glue when it focuses. It's not the quickest thing to go off, which is not really ideal, but it's all I've got, so hey ho, I just have to leave it for a few hours for it to go off. And it is stringy and very strong. Woo. You want a ventilated area really when you use this. So what I'm going to be doing is using a scrap bit of foam, just dip it in there, put it on the seams, stick it together. Pretty basic. So yeah, I'm going to do that and we'll yeah, see how we get on. Make sure we get some good coverage. Try to get any sort of overspill off it. If you can, you're never going to get it all off, but you know, it is what it is. Obviously you can get contact adhesives that go off a lot quicker, which I think once I've used this up, that's what I'll look at getting. This was just because this was what I could get hold of easily in my local DIY store, so what we're going to do, just put the lid back on that. You can wait for it to go a little bit tacky, it sort of helps bond it a bit easier, but I think because I'm going to have to leave this anyway, I'm just going to go in and get it stuck before it gets too tacky, because I might get myself in a bit of a mess. So let's have a go. This is not going to be easy. It's not going to be very level. I don't think. There, it's bonded, but like I don't want to sit here holding this for hours. So what I'm going to do is, oh god, it's all coming apart. Put that on there. Yeah, that's just come apart. Push these together. So this is heavy, this one here. It's got a load of bolts in it, so that should hold that. And then, so these have got screws and stuff in them. So I'm just going to try and, yeah, and then that is pretty much, let me just take it off the tripod without dropping the camera. So as you can see, let's get rid of that. So we're trying to get, I don't know if I've had the seam at the top, just try and get it touching all the way. You can always fill it in afterwards. So I don't know if this is the right way of doing it. I've seen some people with the finished products and I'm thinking, hey, this might be the way to do it. Yay, beer cooler. So as you can see, I've taken it out of the mould and yeah, it's come out alright. It's a little bit, but yeah, we can just get a heat gun on it and basically just get it to where we want it now. So I feel that's quite a strong bond. Bit of filler on there, bit of sanding, you'll never know. And I've also popped that bottom cap in. So ta-da! Super. I don't know if it's a bit thick, but keep your beer cool. Just got to decide what we're going to do on it now. So it's been a couple of days, but basically what I've got here is my pack of stencils that I've handmade. And yeah, I'm going to flick through it and see which ones I want to put on here. Let's have a flick through. So I've made my decision, and this is going to be themed, probably unsurprisingly to some of you, to 13. So I'm basically going to wrap that round and then do some carvings on it and other bits and just make it up as go along. So let's get started. So the roughness of that doesn't really matter, like it's really blurry, because what I'm going to do on this one is because I want to try out my new toy. So I'm going to basically just go in here with my little multi-tool and just route out some bits and try and make it look half decent. So yeah, there's the start of it. So this is my first time giving this a go, but this is what I'm using. Just this little, I don't know if you'll be able to focus on that. Yeah, I'm basically just going to carve away around the outside of this. I don't know, I've done a few little test pieces on here, and yeah, I think I've just got to get into it and see what happens. So that's what we're going to do. Hope it turns out alright. So unfortunately the camera died, but this is basically where I'm at the minute. So what I've done is basically just dremeled, yeah, I've basically just cut ever so slightly around these bits just to emphasise them. I might then go in with a heat gun just to sort of separate it and make them look even more defined. And then the top, I've gone with a sanding bit on the Dremel, and yeah, just started sanding it out basically. So just in the shape of what the branches are on top. just to make it look a bit different on top, which I think it'll look quite good once I've got it all painted up. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the girl on the back yet. I might just make that look like a bit of bark or something. Just, yeah, because I'm not really too sure what I can do without sculpting it, which I don't really want to do now. That was the original idea, but no, can't see that happening. So yeah, that's where we're at, and yeah, basically just do a bit more dremeling around the bottom, emphasise these a bit, and then I might start putting some paint down. I was originally going to Dremel all this lot out, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll just put some paint down, highlight it in certain areas to make it look more, yeah, so that this looks like it's sticking out further than what that is. So we'll see. See what happens. But yeah, happy so far. Nice little project. So now I've finished with my rotary tool. I'm basically, yeah, I'll bring it in so you can see it a bit closer. So yeah, I've basically just gone around some of these bits, some of these indents. Basically we'll just highlight. When I start putting some paint on it, you'll see. What I'm going to do now is hit it with the heat gun, which will open some of these voids up a little bit, because it will just shrink the rest of it, so it will naturally open it up. And also on the back I decided to get rid of the girl that I was going to put on there and just make it look like a wood texture. Hopefully that will come up okay. If it looks too bad, I'll just stick a handle on it. So there we go. So yeah, we're going to basically just hit this with a heat gun now, which helps seal the foam, and then it should be ready for some paint and we can see what it's going to start looking like. Oh yeah, I did actually kill this heat gun. It doesn't work on the hot setting, so, well, the super hot setting, so I just put it on the lower temp, which is fine for this anyway, because it should seal it no problem without sort of going too mad on it. So yeah, what that's actually done now is shrunk that bit in the middle, so it's popping down, but you know, I'm pretty sure that with a bit of glue and stuff I can yeah, get that to sit right again. Yeah, happy days. So once you've done that, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but now it's got like a serious amount of sheen on it now. So obviously it's opened up all them cracks. As you can see, they're a lot more, yeah, they stick out a lot more now. It's actually give a really nice effect in these bits, which I quite like. That would look really good once I start hitting that with some paint. So yeah, let's see if that's any better. Yeah, that's better now. I've gone through the inside of that and heated it up. It's sort of shrunk it to make it fit again, which is good. But yeah, a bit of glue will soon get that sitting pretty again. So yeah, now we're ready for some paint. So now it's time for a black wash, which is this. No, it's not bolognese sauce. It is basically just really watered down black paint. Basically you just sort of scatter it on. You don't have to be too, you know, too precise with it. And then basically as it drains away, it will just leave behind a bit of a darker shading. So yeah, it's good to cover up anything. So So for the next bit, to start adding some colour, I'm going to need to use my trusty airbrush. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but basically it gives the smoothest finish you can ever get, as opposed to getting brush strokes in it. So basically what I'm going to do is to put the yellow and green fade that's sort of in the background behind the 13 sign. Hit it with some white first, because basically these two colours, Create X of course, they're both transparent colours, so if I was to put them straight on top of that, you wouldn't see them. So I'm going to hit it with the white, which is an opaque white, and then these colours will show up beautifully. So yeah, I'm going to get this quickly done, and then I can start going over with the black to highlight the 13 again. Should look good then. So now that I've hit that with some colour, obviously it's got to dry, but yeah, you can sort of see the fade now. So it makes it look a lot more, yeah, brings out all the other colours a lot better. So what I'll have to do now is go back over these branches and just basically redefine what colours I've gone over with the airbrush. But I've sort of just put the green a little bit sort of in the odd place as well, in these little crevices and things like that, just to, you know, add a bit more to it. But yeah, pleased with that. And obviously once I do them letters black, it will really, really pop. But yeah, pleased. That's good. So this is pretty much it now for the paint. I could do a lot more and go into a lot more detail, highlights and lowlights and stuff, but to be honest, this was meant to be a quick project and I've already put more effort into it than what I originally planned. So yeah, what I'm going to do is to finish this off, I'm going to basically just coat it with a mixture of PVA glue and matte interior varnish, which is just your regular cheap varnish. I don't use anything special. It's about a 50-50 ratio with them two. Just put it over this, it will dry clear, and then it will protect the paint so you'll be able to handle it and it won't chip it off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we're going to do, what I'll do is once I've varnished it, I will do some nice action shots and you can see it up close. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's a nice little can holder.